Hey guys, it's DestinyLashae. To my subscribers, you guys already know. And to the newbies, do not forget to hit that subscribe button as well as the little notification bell next to the subscribe button so you don't miss a video from me. Today, I'm going to be showing you guys how you can achieve a completely beat face with affordable products. One side of my face is completely filled with high-end, expensive makeup, and the other side of my face is filled with affordable makeup. I hope you guys enjoy this kind of video. Do not forget to leave a comment down below. Leave a comment down below to let me know what your favorite dupe was from this video, and we're just gonna jump right in. So I like to go in with a hydrating primer before I put on my makeup. Of course, I moisturize first, and then I go in with a hydrating primer. So on the high-end side, I'm gonna use my Too Faced Hangover Replenishing Face Primer, and on the affordable drugstore side, I'm going to use the NYX Honeydew Me Up Primer. These are both very hydrating primers. Now I'm going to go in with my silicone pore filling smoothing primers. On the high-end side, I'm going to use the Lancome La Base Pro. This is a super high-end, expensive primer. On the drugstore side, I'm going to go in with the Maybelline Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser Primer. This is a awesome drugstore pore filler. So on the high-end side, I'm going to use my MAC Pro Conceal and Correct palette. I'm going to use the orange color in this palette to correct any darker areas on my face. Now on the drugstore side, I'm going to use my NYX concealer palette, the Conceal, Correct, and Contour palette. And I'm going to take the orange color and do the same thing on this side. I'm going to go in with my foundation. On the high-end side, I'm going to use my Lancome Tint Idol Ultra Foundation. And on the drugstore side, I'm going to go in with my Maybelline Fit Me foundations. I mix the colors Truffle and Coconut together for the Maybelline Fit Me foundations, just to get my perfect shade. So I'm really in shock right now. The color match is really good. They look almost identical. So for brows, on the high-end side, I'm going to use this Anastasia Brow Pro palette. And I'm going to go in with the color Granite and Ebony. And on the drugstore side, I'm going to use this BH Studio Pro Ultimate Brow Palette. And I'm going to use the darkest color in this palette mixed with the darker brown color. So to conceal underneath my brows, I'm going to use the NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer on the high-end side. And then I'm going to go in with the NYX HD Concealer on the drugstore side. So I usually do put on a lip plumper as well. I actually forgot to do that in the beginning, so I'm going to do it now. I am going to use the Too Faced Lip Injection Extreme on the high-end side. And I always put on chapstick before I put on these because they burn my lips if I don't put on chapstick first. Drugstore side, I'm going to go with the Pillow Plump Soap and Glory Lip Plumper. So I like to use lip plumpers just to fill in the wrinkles in my lips. I don't necessarily need them to make my lips look fuller because, as you can see, they're already full. But that's what I use lip plumper for. For our eyeshadow base today, we're going to use the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion on the high-end side. I don't know how I got glitter on my face. Somebody let me know. Like, how did I get glitter on my face? I'm not even using glitter. And on the drugstore side, I'm going to use the Hard Candy Eyeshadow Primer. So on the high-end side, I'm going to set my eyeshadow base with the Laura Mercier and Graftobian powder mixed together. And on the drugstore side, I'm going to use this Absolute New York HD Flawless Finishing Pressed Powder. So for my transition colors today, on the high-end side, I'm going to use the color Unseen by Melt Cosmetics. And on the drugstore side, I'm going to go in with Oktoberfest by Coastal Scents. So these colors are very similar. They're a nice, neutral, like orangey, nude transition color. Oktoberfest is a little bit more warm. So I'm going to go in with Oktoberfest on this side. But they're pretty much the same color. Coastal Scents eyeshadows are super affordable and the color payoff is really good. So on the high-end side, I'm going to use Enigma eyeshadow by Melt Cosmetics. And on the drugstore side, I'm going to mix Coastal Scents Vibrant Red and Coastal Scents Deep Roast to combine those colors to create the color that I have on the high-end side. Now, this color from Melt Cosmetics is very unique. It's very rare to find a deep maroony burgundy color like this in a eyeshadow, but like I used to do back in the day before I just got super, like, you know, into makeup and everything and started buying lots of makeup, I would mix my foundations like I do now. I would mix eyeshadows to create the colors that I want. I always mix lipsticks and lip glosses, so you can always create a color that you want out of basic colors. So on the drugstore side, I'm going to start with Vibrant Red. I'm going to place that on the outer V. So as you can see, it looks very red. So now I'm going to go in with a little bit of Vibrant Red and Deep Roast. And I'm going to create that burgundy color. That one's a lot more pigmented, honestly. Or maybe I added a lot more. No, I didn't. That one's just a lot more pigmented. These Melt Cosmetics eyeshadows are really, really good. They're some of my favorite formula of eyeshadows. But you can always find cheaper alternatives. So for eyeshadow on the lid, I'm going to use China Rose by Anastasia Beverly Hills on the high-end side. And on the drugstore side, I'm going to use Coastal Scents Bright Copper eyeshadow. Eye-wise, honestly, I'm liking this side a little bit more because it's a little bit brighter, but the colors are very, very, very similar. So for liner today, I'm going to use the Inglot Gel Liner 77 on the high-end side, and on the drugstore side, I'm going to use the Maybelline New York Eye Studio Gel. This is in the color Blackest Black. So for mascara, I'm going to apply the Better Than Sex mascara on the high-end side. And on the drugstore side, I'm going to use the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise Waterproof Mascara. Now, the Too Faced mascara is like my holy grail. And the L'Oreal one is honestly like the same exact thing. This mascara is pretty much a dupe for the Better Than Sex. For concealer today, on the high-end side, of course I'm going to use my NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer again, just to go underneath my eyes to conceal the darker areas underneath there. And I like to go heavy with my concealer. And I'm just going to go in with a regular beauty blender and blend it out on the high-end side. Now, there are two dupes that I really like that are from the drugstore for the beauty blender. I love the L'Oreal sponge. That's the pink one that I'm showing here. And I love the Real Techniques orange sponge. So that's really, really good, affordable blending sponge that you can get right at the drugstore. Super affordable because the beauty blender is like 20-something bucks. And that's kind of pricey for a sponge. So on the drugstore side, I'm going to go in with the NYX concealers in the color Deep Golden and Tan. For the NYX concealers, I like to let them sit underneath the eye for at least like 30 seconds so they can set into my skin, and they give a little bit more coverage once they sit on the face. And once that's set in, I'm going to use the L'Oreal sponge to blend it out on this side. So to set my face on the high-end side, I'm going to use the Laura Mercier powder. And on the drugstore side, I'm going to go in with the HD Flawless Absolute New York Banana Setting Powder. As you can tell, it looks brighter on this side than on this side. I didn't anticipate that, but it's okay. Hopefully it all comes together at the end. But I always like to go on top of my setting powder with a mineralized like skin finish type thing. So on the high-end side, I'm going to use my oldie but goodie, I've been using this for years and years, the MAC Dark Mineralized Skin Finish Powder. And on the drugstore side, I'm going to use the NYX No Filter Powder. This is in the color Deep Golden. So this NYX powder is for sure a really good dupe for my MSF powder. Now that has never come out of my mouth before, or has it ever entered my brain, because nothing has compared to my MSF. But this is really good, guys. So on the high-end side, to contour, I'm going to use the Anastasia Kit Contour Color in the color Carob. And on the drugstore side, I'm going to use the color Deal Breaker. It's a warm deep contour by Makeup Geek. So this is it for today. So for blush, on the high-end side, I'm going to use Raisin Blush by MAC. And on the drugstore side, or affordable side, I'm going to use the Makeup Geek blush in the color Shivery. These colors are identical. So now we're going to go into highlighting. I'm going to use the MAC Oh Darling highlighter. This was limited edition. They actually, I think, just brought it back, but this is a really nice highlighter. And on the drugstore side, I'm going to use the Infallible eyeshadow. This is in the color Eternal Sunshine, and this is a very good affordable dupe for this highlighter. But just apply it. As you can see, it's basically identical. Once products are on your face, no one can tell really, you know, if they're drugstore. So I'm just going to apply some of the MAC highlighter in the center of my nose, because how can you really split that up? You know what I mean? So I forgot to actually set my brows in the beginning of the tutorial, but I'm going to use the Anastasia brow gel on this side. This holds your brows together all day. And on the drugstore side, I'm going to use the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Plumper. This is really good as well, just to hold your brows in place. On the high-end side, I'm going to use my Skindinavia finishing spray for my spray. And on the drugstore side, I'm going to use the Mario Badescu skincare facial spray with aloe and rose water and all that goodness. I really like this stuff. It doesn't really help your makeup stay on all day, but it does help to set your makeup and get rid of that cakiness. So I'm going to do this. Just going to fan it out. So on the high-end side for lips, I'm going to use the Vice Liquid Lipstick by Urban Decay in the color Disturbed. And on the drugstore side, I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Mega Last Liquid Catsuit Lipstick in the color Video Vixen. Nothing looks different. My eyeshadow on this side looks a little bit more vibrant and red, but you honestly can't tell. You would have to look very hard. Highlight is looking pretty much the same. I would just say the Oh Darling highlighter has a little bit more sheen to it. It's not as glittery or chalky, but honestly it looks identical even in person. The lipstick is an exact dupe. I would say the Wet n Wild one was a little bit more easy to apply than the Urban Decay one. I had to kind of layer the Urban Decay one on twice, and I just put one layer of the Wet n Wild one on. But color wise, it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. You would think it's the same lipstick on my lips. Mascara is a definite dupe as well. The only thing that is the same on both sides are my eyelashes. If you do want to know where I get my lashes from, I will list it down below. It's actually my very own lash line, so check out the description box. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you found it helpful, please don't forget to thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video. And don't forget to check out some of my other videos. I created them just for you, so you can check them out right here, and I will see you in the next one.